could the Denver Broncos make the playoffs?
I would say for sure. Like, they definitely can make the playoffs. Again, let me do my classic stall and pull up the schedule on the side. Because, again, I always like to look at exactly what we're looking at here, right? So we got Texans, Chargers, Lions, Patriots, Chargers, Raiders. Okay, so the way that I would see that is I would say you got a very good shot to be able to pull that out against the Texans. You also could lose that game. We'll toss that to a 50-50. But I think the Broncos would for sure take one against the Chargers. Probably lose another one against the Chargers. Probably lose to the Lions, but then be able to beat the Broncos or the Patriots and then the Raiders. So I'd say realistically, you're looking at a very good chance to get to 9 wins and probably be the last team into the playoffs, right? Very, very solid chance. Is it a certainty? Is it even necessarily favorable? I can't say that. But I definitely say if you had to have me pick a side right now and you had a gun to my head and pick one or you got to make the choice, I'm going to say, yeah, Sean Payton's going to find a way to get the Broncos to the playoffs.
Yeah, bro, I have a feeling they're going to make it. I feel like the Browns are going to fall out, and it's the Texans and the Broncos are going to be fighting for that 7th spot.
That is crazy.
I really do.
But that's the thing I want to talk about, too, as you saw in my other note, is I think in a weird way, too, though, I could sit here and say, look, the Browns also very potentially have a very favorable schedule to still find a way to sneak into the playoffs.
With DTR?
Right, because even with DTR, you get to go against the Rams, right? The more I say it out loud at home, it's like, it's not easy. But we know the Rams go. If you guys get injured mid-game, staff gets cracked, maybe you could pull that one out for sure. Then also, Bears, Jets, Bengals, being the other ones I think are very winnable. If you pull all those out, I'd say you for sure got yourself in the playoffs. So it almost comes down to who's going to fold.
Yeah.
Is it the Broncos? Is it the Texans? Is it the Browns? Or is it the Broncos? Who's it going to be? Who's
Browns,
the folder?
Texans, Broncos. Who's the folder?
That's what it's going to come down to.
I would say
It doesn't feel like the Texans, though.
It doesn't feel like the Texans. I honestly feel like it's going to be the Browns strictly because they're going to lack the offensive production. And Myles Garrett is day-to-day right now, but you never know like if that injury is going to linger throughout the year.
I hope not for his defensive player of the year hopes.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the Broncos have come on so strong recently. It's very impressive.
Credit to Vance Joseph. I mean, that's
yeah.
what I had to say. Like, have you ever seen a defense turn around like this?
Oh, bro, I thought he was going to be fired like week 5, week 6. Like,
I've never seen a defense go from allowing above 55. Because I don't even say 70. It's like you never see 70. We'll go 55, 50, above 50, and then bouncing back like this in the same season. I mean, really, it's like Vance Joseph, man. Literally slow clap.
I mean,
you know your football, man. You definitely know your football a lot more than other coordinators in this league. Because to make that adjustment as quick as you had to make with the pressure you had on you, that is definitely a slow clap moment. Shouts to Vance Joseph.
Yeah, I just shout out to the Broncos coaching staff in general. Like to be able to turn this team around and like create this culture mid-season. Like this is a coach who knows how to get his players to learn to win.
So what you're saying is he's not Dennis Allen.
He's not.
Yeah, so what you're saying is there's a huge difference. No, I can make this about the Saints. Seriously, shouts to Sean Payton. We miss you over here in New Orleans, but we're definitely happy to see you doing this in Denver. Mile high going crazy.
Yeah.
Especially with the turnaround on top of it.
Yeah, so Denver fans have a lot to be happy about. And also, let's talk about the Browns really quick. I mean, this game, I don't want to say it's a wash, but it was just kind of like a weird one that wasn't like too crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of like it was exactly what you'd expect from these teams.
Well, the 0 sack day minus, I can't say that, the 0 D-line sack day from the Browns, because JOK had a sack.
Yeah.
That is an anomaly. And that is probably the biggest reason that this went the way it went. Because that D-line, credit to Sean Payton's game plan, had no effect.
Well, also my thing is like, I don't know why you give the ball to Jerome Ford only 9 times when he's averaging 7.2 yards on the ground.
That was another thing. And I was going to say too, though, big side note, because this is probably like the overarching note that everybody's going to consider when you're playing the Browns going forward. But this is my thing, is I think if you're going to beat the Browns, this was another game that shows it. The best way and the most productive way to beat them is to get positive gains on the ground and churn the clock.
Yeah.
Like you have got to be rushing for over 3.5 yards of carry and be able to move that clock. Because if you can't, the way the Browns play, in the way that pass rush gets home, it's going to be tough. But if you can play like this and limit your passing opportunities and let Myles Garrett not be able to just wreck you and that D-line not just be able to go eat, that's definitely the way to beat the Browns.
Well, I mean, you threw the ball 42 times with DTR and PJ Walker. You only ran the ball 24 times. it's got to be more balanced and more run heavy.
Right. Sometimes Stefanski, I will say this year, definitely gets I get him a little questionable with like, even when Deshaun, it's like sometimes he has Deshaun throwing the ball 40, 45 times a game. It's like, maybe with the shoulder and stuff, the best course action is to abuse this O-line. Call me crazy, but has that not been the MO?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why coaches do that. I mean, I'm not an NFL coach, but I would agree it would make more sense if you have your backup in, run the ball a lot. Like, I don't know.